Is a submission for Resident Evil 4 New Game Professional Roomscale. Before I start the run, I want to talk a little bit about possible incentives for a marathon setting. The first of which being that I have options to set for laser color as well as costume, so that can be a bid war. Laser color can be red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, pink, or white. For tonight, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at the default red, but that's one option. And then the costume options are the default leather jacket or the RPD costume. There is no special 2 outfit in VR as of yet. In addition, there are 2 incentives that I will offer for this type of run. The first being Egg Truck, where I use an egg to kill the truck driver at the end of Chapter 2-3. And the other being that I can turn on and off QTEs. Specifically, I'd like to offer an incentive to turn the Krauser knife fight cutscene back on. In VR, we have it turned off. Other housekeeping things, just as I like to show this off before I run to make sure we have everything set up here, we do first-person action transitions and limited boat control mode at the start. So let's go ahead and get started with the New Game Pro run. We turn off these features, and I think I'll do costume special tonight. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So let's talk a bit about this particular category and the VR elephant in the room as well. So New Game Professional Roomscale means that we start a new file on the hardest difficulty, Professional. Enemies hit as hard as they can, they take the most number of hits to kill, Leon suffers more damage when he gets hits, etc. It's essentially the hardest version that the game has to offer. VR has a lot of major differences, but Roomscale I want to cover first. So when I look down, you can see a blue line on the visual capture, and sometimes you can even see like the wall, like they all back up a little bit so it doesn't show up as often. But you can see a blue line on the floor, and that is the room scale boundary that I have. And that will be important in a few glitches and tricks that we can do later on in the run. And then finally, the main difference in VR, as you can see, I'm in first-person perspective. I have complete control over both of my hands. I can dual wield. I can run and gun. I can throw my gun. It's fantastic. If you haven't had the opportunity to play RE4 VR, just for the main control scheme being in first-person perspective alone, the game is fantastic. Super fun. We're going to do a quick little inventory arrangement here before we go into Pueblo. Those of you who are familiar with RE4 speedrunning know that you can use grenades here to kill ganados, but there's a problem here. In VR, the fragmentation grenades have a much smaller kill radius and effective radius than they do in the console version of the game. So we have a little bit of an adaptation here. So we're going to bottleneck a couple of times to force these ganados to get too close to this grenade and have it explode in their faces here. We're going to do the same thing over here in this door. And if we do it right, we can easily kill a large group of ganados and instantly end the fight. So that is the 1-1 village fight. And that went very clean. So I don't see any shotgun rounds, so we're going to just press on. So we got a good amount of handgun ammo and our shotgun. So another great advantage of VR is that all of my weapons are within arm's reach, and even healing items can be immediately accessible. So I will very frequently be switching back and forth between our one-handed weapon, which is the pistol, the basic handgun, which I'll be using pretty much throughout the entire run. I can also, in VR, look for opportunities to grab additional bits of ammo from RNG sources like that there. For the low cost of one handgun bullet, I can check things without losing any time. And that's a really nice advantage here. So I'm going to have a very ammo-intensive, ammo-heavy run throughout the game. QTEs are a bit different in VR. They do make good use of the motion controls, but unfortunately, I don't have options like choosing when I dive out of the way. So I can't skip the tree there. So this is a really good 1-1. We'll just see how this guy treats me here. Oh, don't want to miss that. There we go. Little bit of time lost at the end. Not too bad, though. Really solid 1-1. So anytime I finish a chapter, I will point to this corner in the bottom right here, and then look to the left. And that puts the bell directly in front of me, so it's easy to see and easy to hit when I am transitioning chapters. So there's a bit to discuss here. Hunnigan cutscenes always require mashing through, but we can rotate our camera to a more beneficial angle. QTEs and any other normal cutscenes, we have to use the A button to skip, but it always requires a long animation in order to skip. So I can keep my gun drawn here while holding on to this emblem. And there's actually another puzzle that's kind of like this, where you can hang on to a key item while running around with your gun or whatever the whole time. So, but the nice thing is if I don't ever put these in my pocket, I don't have to open up the sub-menu at this door here. So I can just let go, and they'll go right in the door, and I can open it up, which is a nice way to save a bit of time. Running and gunning has a lot of benefits. A lot of the times you have to be mindful of things like this Ganado here and make sure that he doesn't grab you, but as long as you have your gun out and you know what to expect, for the most part you can pretty much just run right through and shoot anybody that gets in your way if they get too close, or just shoot them if they look at you funny. So the game does drop handgun ammo like it's candy, and you can pretty much make liberal use of the ammo to shoot enemies for fun. I didn't have to shoot that last guy. I did it because I wanted to, because I'm mean like that. I am still working out and fine-tuning the treasure routing of this run. So I will probably grab too much treasure on the way, which I guess is safe as marathons go. It does cost a bit of time, but it ensures that the run is completable. This puzzle is very difficult in VR, so I have to make very deliberate moves to not accidentally make it go upstairs, or sorry, go upside down. And that's the end of 1-2. So in chapter 1-3, we have a boss fight at the end, which I'll talk about in a moment. But first, I gotta grab an egg and make my way back through the village. So this egg is wrapped in case egg truck incentive is met in any runs that I do. Normally we would grab TMP ammo in the nest that's in here, but I will not be purchasing the TMP in this run. So as long as you just shoot those granados like crazy, we can get right past them like they're nothing. I always grab this flash grenade. It's a few steps out of the way, but it's worth it because regular grenades are really weak, which means we have to use flash grenades to kind of make up for them in places like cabin. And mash our way through here. There we go. Oh, hey, we got treasure for once. So that is a random drop there. We have one more piece of treasure to pick up here before we make our first transaction with the merchant. So we'll just grab that and say hello to our good friend, the merchant.
Got a selection of good.
So we're going to
What are
start
you
off by
selling?
selling our treasures that we've collected so far.
Ah, I'll buy it at a high. Is that?
And then we are going to buy
buying?
a rocket launcher.
Stranger,
And pretty much every
stranger.
time we make a transaction with the merchant, we're going to be picking up a rocket launcher. It's no secret, rocket launchers are absolutely busted, overpowered in this game. It's true in consoles, it's true in VR, and so so long as we're not doing a no merchant run, we're going to be taking pure advantage of the heavy firepower that the merchant offers. So there was no ammo from that second raven there, crow, whatever it is. So we just move on. I'm going to be collecting incendiary grenades along the way to help out with the boss at the end of Chapter 2. And speaking of bosses, we are on our way to the first boss, Del Lago. Now, Del Lago is kind of the gatekeeper of speedrunning in this game, and it's actually quite a bit more consistent to do Del Lago in VR. We have actually found a good manipulation in VR, and it has to do with comfort control settings. But before we get to that, I'll talk about the fight in general with Del Lago. So in the console version, we have access to a bunch of harpoons to throw by hand. Ooh, shotgun shells, very nice. And those harpoons can kill Del Lago anywhere between 10 to 12 hits. I think somewhere in that approximate range, I could be wrong. In VR, on professional mode, if you play with either immersive or limited comfort controls, I think it takes upwards of somewhere between 20 and 30, maybe even more hits with the harpoon gun to kill Del Lago, which is unfortunate. However, a glitch hunter by the name of Hippo discovered that there is a manipulation you can do that forces Del Lago not only to dive at a specific time, but also forces Del Lago to take less damage. It's more of what's more typical in the console version. So I'm going to go ahead and move the chair back here. I like to do the Del Lago fight standing because the harpoons are a bit tricky to grab. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be switching between comfort mode midway through the fight in order to lower Del Lago's health to manageable, easy to kill levels. But I'm going to be using the limited controls, which, as you can see, the boat moves independently of me. And I've got this harpoon gun here. So I'm going to be quiet now and go ahead and just do it, and I can talk about it a little more later. Okay, we're going to go ahead and switch to comfort now. And as long as we did it at the right time, Del Lago should dive. All right, we got the dive. So now Del Lago's either going to surface on this side or directly behind me. He's on this side. All right, that is a very, very good Del Lago. That is exactly what we like to see. So I am very, very pleased with the results of that fight. So that is the end of Chapter 1. Hooray! So Chapter 2, it's nightfall. We still haven't found Ashley. Leon took himself a nice little nap. And we are somehow low enough on ammo that I was able to grab that as handgun rounds, which I suppose is pretty good. Yeah, that's good. It's actually a really good amount of ammo right now. At this point, my inventory is completely full. I am packed to the gills. If I find another ammo box that isn't shotgun shells, I will not be able to pick it up. And even shotgun shells, I'll probably have trouble picking up with only room for like 2 more. If I had a little more room, or if I didn't have the egg that I took, I would be able to grab 1 more hand grenade before making our way to the boss of 2-1. The VR controls allow me to fine-tune and adjust Leon's movement by turning my head. And so here I'm actually going to turn backwards but look over my right shoulder, and this will allow me to quick turn and be able to easily knock down that ganado and shoot past these ganados here. Grab the amber ring. I did have to pause a little bit there since I missed one of the shots, but we made it through clean. Grab this emblem and move on. Mash through Hunnigan's Call here. I don't really have any room for more ammo, so I'm just going to move straight to the boat. Don't even need to check the barrels. If my ammo numbers were a little bit low there, I would consider shooting those barrels to see what's in them. Alright, we have enough room in my inventory to pick up these handgun bullets, so I am going to take those. And now we're headed for the first proper boss of the game, which is El Gigante. Don't blink, because this is pretty much a standard fight here. Good fight. And so now we've got quite a bit more space in our inventory. We haven't used our first aid spray, but I do like to be extra safe on heals for cabin. So I will be grabbing all of these herbs, and especially yellow herbs, and that's more important for things like the krauser fight. We also need to equip our hand grenade and the shotgun, so it's a good opportunity to readjust our inventory at this point. So cabin is going to be in chapter 2-2, but we have just a little bit more in 2-1 to handle here. We have the dogs. There's a saying in RE4 speedrunning that the dogs are free. And that is true in the console version as well as VR. The only condition required is that you do not look at them. You look up at the sky and run to your destination. Fun fact, if I touch this door with my body, I will get a Hunnigan call, and I don't want that. So I have to kind of reach out and make sure she doesn't call me. We grab another flash grenade here, again for safety, both for the cabin as well as in water hall later on. And then chapter 23 is number 1 is the password. There we go. Now in VR, we don't get locked down during interactions with, puzzles, so you can actually move around while solving them. But it also means that the enemies don't stop either, so there will be a time where I have to be a little bit extra cautious. Oh, baby, shotgun rounds. The game likes me tonight. Or at least the first part of it does. So that's the end of 2-1. We now have Ashley with us. Ashley is another aspect of the game that I would say is a bit harder in VR. And that is simply because Ashley walks about a mile behind Leon and has a much bigger aggro radius than she normally does. Alright, since we're so good on ammo, all of those ganados drop money. I still killed them on the off chance that they drop additional handgun or shotgun rounds, but a little money doesn't hurt either. So as you can see, when I run through the cave here, you will see Ashley runs quite a bit far behind Leon compared to what she does in console. And her aggro radius, her fear radius, or like willingness to duck down next to a ganado or a cultist, is much larger than it normally is. So I have to be a lot more aggressive with things like ganados and such whenever I am escorting Ashley. So you're going to see here, I'm going to shoot a lot of stuff here to ensure that we have a clean path through to the end. And there we go, that's really, really good. Do the same thing here in the farm. Hopefully she comes up. Sounds like she did. Give them a nice little boot. We'll catch Ashley. Good so far, good so far. Happy with all this. Nothing in the box, so we move on. All right, very, very clean village and farm. So now it is time to be prepared for the cabin fight. And this is a very frantic and difficult fight. And because grenades are nerfed and we have fewer of them because of the routing, it's going to be even more difficult and a lot more random what happens. We got a lot of stuff that I'll need to pick up in a little bit here. Commentary-wise, this is a very challenging and focus-required segment of the run. So there will be gaps when all I'm going to be doing right now is being absolutely focused on not dying. Another grenade. Got grab. It's okay. I want the gun. Thank you. That was really good. Ah, threw that through the wall there. We want to keep our health as high as possible because any Plagas heads that come through can pretty much instantly kill us if I have any damage missing at all. We're gonna hang on. No, actually, we're gonna use this last grenade here. And then we're going to switch to flash grenades for this segment, as well as keep that right there. Okay. So now we have to manage ladders for a little while. Ah, that is exactly why you want to be very, very careful with these guys. Nobody there. Nobody there. No one there. So. Alright, good fight. We got through it with a little bit of extra healing. I think I forgot to grab the green herb. That's okay. I'm not going to go back upstairs for it. Moving on. So, Any cabin you can walk away from in VR without dying is a pretty good cabin. So, moving on to chapter 2-3. Wow, already there. So it is time for us to finish up the village, but to escape the village, we're going to have to meet up with the village chief Mendez. So we've got a bit of a journey ahead of us. We can shoot off the chains before we get to this cutscene and grab with both hands here, allowing us to very quickly pick up items that we need, or even some that we don't need, like that TMP ammo, but that's essentially more money with a little bit more steps. So you can raid almost everything that that place has to offer. So there's not a whole lot to this chapter after that El Gigante skip. So this part coming up on the gondolas is pretty much just an auto-scroller. There's not much to be said or seen about it. So it's a good opportunity to talk about any kind of incentives or donation reading. I can practice my gun tricks. Practice shooting southpaw. So fun fact about the VR version, anytime your laser is pointed at an enemy, as soon as it begins to overlap the enemy, you will get a vibration on the gun. So one thing that Ashley does not do, she doesn't do the fist bump anymore, so I'll have to do it for her. I also do miss the original sky textures a bit, but you know, I think the game's still pretty good. I prefer running it over console, honestly. I don't even miss the biggest difference in the game, which I will talk about later. So, Chief Mendez, we'll go ahead and swap our grenades now to talk about it now. The Chief Mendez fight, what is there to say about it? Well, he is allergic to fire, like violently allergic to fire, and actually have extra incendiary grenades. Normally I walk in here with only 4, and I'm coming in here with 6, so that's really good. That's going to give me a lot to work with in the castle. I do run a bit heavy on inventory and actually do pick up a briefcase. So another thing we can talk about on the way up to the castle is inventory management and what we will be purchasing. But first, we have a chief to kill. So if I hold a grenade above my head, I get a red reticle that I can basically look around and aim with and have precision aiming, which is really, really, really good in VR. So, we clean out just a handful of items that we need here.
Are you okay,
Are
Leon?
you okay, Leon? Yep, I am good. At this point, I would cut off the egg truck incentive, because we're going to switch to the brown chicken egg here. Make sure everything else is equipped, and then make our way to the castle. So it's a bunch of backtracking, so again, another great opportunity to talk about donations and such. In lieu of that, though, I'm going to talk about the inventory differences. So in console, on a New Game Pro run, you would normally keep all of the TMP ammo that you've been collecting and save it up, and then you would sell your handgun ammo, shotgun ammo at the 3-1 merchant. But the TMP in VR is, well, it's terrible. It's really not good. It's a two-handed weapon. It has terrible aim, terrible ammo economy. And the one purpose that it serves, the pistol already does incredibly well and is even better while running and gunning. So we have very little reason at all to pick up the TMP. Likewise, the shotgun is incredibly good because we can actually keep it with us and the pistol at pretty much all times throughout the run. And it's extremely effective at crowd control and clearing a bunch of mobs out of your way.
Wait.
So here's the egg truck segment. We'll go ahead and do that right now. So we'll wait for this truck to come on down the hill here. Aim. Bye-bye. So that's the egg truck. A little tricky to do. A lot harder to do on console, but something that's absolutely easy to miss on VR if you don't have a steady visor, I suppose. Now we are still going to purchase the semi-automatic rifle at the start of Chapter 3-1. It's way too important, way too powerful this early on in the game to not bring with us. So we are absolutely going to pick that up here. So let's go ahead and do our inventory management here. We're going to sell our TMP rounds.
Thank you.
We're going to sell our random bits and bobs of jewelry. And then we're going to buy the large attaché case.
Thank you.
The semi-automatic rifle, which will provide us a very easy to place spot for that. And, of course, a rocket launcher.
Stranger.
Then we're going to immediately equip that rifle. And a flash grenade, because we're going to need that for later. So, the semi-automatic rifle, what a glorious weapon. If any weapon feels truly, truly fun to use in this game, it's the semi-auto rifle. It only has one problem with it. It, as a sniper rifle, is actually very, very difficult to use. I made that look easy, but trust me, it can be a lot harder than that. And you'll see why the sniper rifle's so good later. So we're going to wait here for these first rock cycle to come through, because Ashley is about a mile behind me, and if I don't, she'll die. Since we can run and gun, I'm going to go ahead and shoot these red barrels as I go by to help ensure that it kills any of the cultists that might be shooting boulders at us. We're also going to drop that guy. Quickly crank that. Fire the cannon. And the reason I dropped this guy is because he does not despawn when you shoot this barrier. When you shoot the gate there. In console, they do. There's a little cutscene that plays and all the cultists despawn. Utterly horrifying. But hey, at least we know Ashley brushes her teeth, right? So in this segment, we're going to grab our key items here, make our way back out just for safety, and we're going to turn around and go do it again. Grab that, put that in place, head upstairs, smash our way through that. There we go. Just barely got out before Ashley got caught. Say hello to Luis, but Leon is better with the ladies.
Wait.
Except in Oculus, he's not. Juke these guys out. Good, good. That's what you like to see. Grab, shoot, grab. Please give me the key. Pause for just a second there. Open that door, bring Ashley. And make our way into the castle proper. So, now we face off against everyone's bane, the Chimera wall, which will take us many minutes to defeat. No, that's not really the worst part of it. The water hall is coming up, but we have a little bit to do before that. So quite a bit is different at this point in the run with our strategies, especially managing Ashley and trying to run past the zealots is quite difficult. So we're going to be doing things quite a bit differently here. There is a quick kill for this Garrador. It's kind of infamously tricky to learn in console. There's one here too, but I don't think it's that hard, honestly. You just have to shoot the right spots, you know? There we go. Easy peasy. Easy every time. I would like that money, please. Thank you. So that was the Garrador fight. We'll go ahead and combine that. Put that right there. Keep that handy. Okay. So because we can't position Ashley up ahead in a strategic location, we're just gonna shotgun our way through.
Mátalo.
As long as Ashley doesn't stop and she follows us, we are a-okay to pop in here and do some sniper rifle strats. So here we go, sniper strats. One, two, three, four. Back out the door. Quick reload. Back out the door. And here we go. So this is a really complicated maneuver, but hopefully it makes sense. Every shot I'm taking so far is very deliberate to manipulate positions of these cultists exactly where I want them and be able to get Ashley all the way through here. Rest assured, if I don't do things like this, Ashley will duck down and this can be a nightmare very, very quickly. Alright, the shielder went upstairs. Might be coming back downstairs. Alright, so we got Ashley on the crank. Actually, exactly where we want these guys. I don't know where the shielder is, and that bothers me. But it's too late for him to care now. That is about the best water haul I think I've ever done. Oh, there's the shielder. Too slow, buddy. Bye-bye. We're gonna make all the bad men go away. This is the first time we use load checkpoint, and that simply resets the room at our last checkpoint. It's a good safety measure for some of the harder tricks you can do in the run as well. But it also has the side effect of resetting spawns, and the zealots down below do not respawn when we load the checkpoint here. So I can pretty much ignore that shielder. So the second half of Water Hall is extremely easy. It's a pleasure cruise compared to the first segment of Water Hall. So, second half of this, we just take a little time. Tripping up cultists. There we go. All I have to do is shoot that other guy far enough down the road and he will not mess with Ashley at all. So yeah, there's the real big benefit of the sniper rifle. That's the first time I've demonstrated using it like that. Essentially, you can no-scope with this bad boy, and it's like using a Magnum at the beginning of the game. It is so strong. The only disadvantage is ammo is not incredibly plentiful here. So, and there's no real benefit for me killing these zealots quickly, because I still have more of them spawning even if I kill them all. We just want to keep them far enough away at this point so that they don't catch up with Ashley. Which we have done. That, in my opinion, is about as good as Waterhall can possibly get in VR. I could be wrong. I mean, obviously, shy of abandoning sniper strats and trying something different, like, that's a really unbelievably clean Waterhall. And that's the end of 3-1. One of the more stressful parts at the beginning of the run. So we say goodbye to Ashley as she falls into a trap. The next segment of the run, we get to have some fun with the Novistadors. So right off the bat, we're going to switch our weaponry here to a shotgun and a flash grenade. So Novistadors are a notorious enemy in RE4 speedrunning. They're very difficult to predict their movements, and their moveset is very RNG. But the one thing that is super advantageous in VR is the fact that it doesn't matter what attack they use, as long as I can shoot them with my shotgun, and they don't do that. Alright, I lied. That's the one thing they can do, is if they rush you and you don't see them. But that only really happens in this one because they're hard to see. But, yeah, essentially if they get in the way, or if they get too close, you can just shoot them with a shotgun, and they'll get right out of the way, and it doesn't cost you any time. For whatever reason, we can only skip the second half of this cutscene. So, just gonna keep my eyes peeled for that kind of movement. Oh, there's one on the wall there. Haha, but he missed me. And that's Novi's 1. I needed to use that heal at some point to get rid of inventory space anyway, so not a huge loss. Next time I change equipment, I can just put another herb on there. So here I'm going to look left, look right, go through the door very quickly. We're going to grab our flash grenade. I just realized that my lapel is exactly where my grenades are. Throw and drop. We just pass right through here. I apologize for smacking the mic there. We're going to do a little purchase of some additional ordnance here.
What are you buying?
As usual, we are picking up another rocket launcher.
Now that's a weapon.
Interesting. There we go. There's some room. Cool.
Come back anytime.
So let's go ahead and manage our inventory here. We have too many green herbs, so we're going to trim those down a little bit. I'm going to grab the red herb though, or maybe not. Yes, I will. Every once in a while, that little symbol gets in the way of whatever you're trying to grab, and that's really annoying in VR. So, gallery. Another fun segment in VR. Fun to speedrun as well. There's a lovely little trick we can do. If we shoot that, we have that great advantage there. We're going to switch to our rifle here, and our fire grenade here. Didn't take his head off. I was not expecting that other cultist behind me, but if we catch the red zealot on fire like that, oh wow, that guy's like right on top of me. Then we can very quickly and easily drop this zealot. There we go. I want to grab his key, and just for safety, all that. Not necessary, probably, but I like to be extra cautious. So this is the puzzle that I can wind up getting attacked on. I can actually hear somebody coming right now. But thankfully, I think we're out of here. So, moving on to the second half of the gallery. We can check what's in that pot there and grab it if it's necessary or not. It just costs you a bullet to grab. Run around the other guy there. Snag that. If they're in the way, we can shoot them. Ah! Hey, iframes. Boo, cutscenes. Alright. Not a terrible gallery. We got grabbed, but we didn't get hurt. So, at this point, we're going to switch it up to our explosive grenade and a shotgun. And that is because we've got some more things that we're going to need to use those for in a moment here. So, the shotgun's a really good moneymaker in this game because it's open season for these crows here. And at the end of 3-2, of course, we have the old favorite Hedge maze, which, as usual, is full of dogs that we will never look at. I'm sorry, you're just not going to get a good look at them. Alright, I lied. There's one. But yeah, as long as we look up as we go past them and things like that, they are not going to stick around with us. They're not going to follow me all the way to the ends of the earth. And again, we have a two-piece key item puzzle. So as long as we are looking up and we look at our wonderful moonstone here, I mean, truly a beautiful piece of security technology here, complete with a nice glowy LED light. Great. Here's the other half. We can work that together like a nice little puzzle there. Anyway, did you hear something? Must be imagination. Okay, so we'll just slap this in here. Grab this gun, shoot that, reach out and grab, and say hello to Ada's thighs, and move on to chapter 3-3. So, 3-3, shortest chapter in the game, and for good reason. It's pretty much a straight shot from here to 3-4. We only have a few doors to travel through. Good opportunity to restock up on some additional ammo and healing and things of that nature. Shoot a bell from across the room. Practice our pistol sniping. Drop a grenade right there. Bye, guys. Open that, grab that. Open this door. Don't get shot, that's good. They missed. I like when they miss. They hit a lot of the time there. I missed this guy like 3 times, so you know. There's that. I love the neon glow of the carpet in this room. So yeah, shielders, haha, they're funny. Ah, I missed that. Oh well, that's like a little bit less than I have there. Equip that, equip that, equip that. We have a rocket launcher. We want the fire grenade. All right, move on. So that's 3-3. Hope you enjoyed. Rest in peace, Lewis. Now moving on to chapter 3-4, in which we rescue Ashley. And we practice our no-scoping. We're going to use a fire grenade that we collected earlier to ensure that all of our enemies are kept in one nice little spot. There we go.
I got the key. I can get out.
Awesome, Ashley. And all the treasures are mine. Hooray. So, Ashley segment. We're going to play as Ashley. We're going to punch these cultists right in the face. Not really. So, there's a few differences in the Ashley segment compared to console. Of course, we can turn the crank quickly to get through. We can actually turn it a lot faster than you can in console. I won't be collecting any items in here, though, except for key items. Again, we can turn our camera head, turn my head to adjust the, come on, push the button. To adjust Ashley's positioning to make it easier for her to hit buttons and interact with objects. So, go through here. There, push the button, please. Press buttons or, push buttons are a bit finicky in VR. We have a flashlight, very useful for seeing in the dark. It's also fun to twirl, completely useless for fighting enemies. Here's a puzzle. Not the flashlight, but the puzzle piece. There we go. Grab this, skip this, grab that. Run past these guys. So this QTE, we're going to introduce a new VR exclusive technique called QTE boosting, where you can run backwards, trigger the QTEs a little faster or a little bit sideways compared to normal, and we're just going to straight up skip this QTE by reaching the door trigger instead of walking into the QTE trigger. Go. Crank in there, and that's the end of the puzzles in chapter 3-4. Enjoyed. Goodbye, Ashley. No matter what we do, even if we don't collect any items whatsoever, we always get this stupid inventory that shows up afterwards, so we have to close out of it. And that's the end of chapter 3. So moving on to chapter 4-1, the longest single chapter segment in the entire game. There's a lot to unpack here. We still need one more piece of the Chimera wall, and we have a whole nother collection quest that we have to do, all while escorting Ashley. And then there's still even more after all that. So, if we're quick on this segment here, the lava room. Totally believable lava room to have inside of a castle. We're gonna jump across here. We made it. So we made that cycle. We're gonna no scope here. There we go. Did miss one of the shots there. So, scoping in VR is extremely slow and extremely difficult to do accurately. So, it's better to not scope. Alright. So, pretty good lava room. Only wasted one rifle round. I could get some treasures in this room, but I have cut them out from the routing because I just plain don't need the money. There's so many places that I grab money that I don't really need to get it there, and it's better to get earlier. This is the only part of the game where I can't actually use my hands. It's so weird. A lot of the time when you have little cutscenes like this, you get a box around and you're standing in a room watching a movie. It's a little disorienting the first time you see it, but you get really used to it if you've played the game before or if you play a lot of it. It doesn't bother me at all anymore. So now we're back at the Chimera room. Chimera wall. I'm going to mash with one hand and grab with the other. There we go. And make our way to the next collectathon. Except this one only requires 2 pieces and they're like really close by. So, our next obstacle is going to be the Armaduros for the King's Grail. And they're not particularly difficult to handle in VR. I do want to switch, though, and make triple sure I have 2 flash grenades, which I do. I have 3, actually. If not, I can grab the one that was over there. We need this yellow herb, absolutely essential.
Wait.
I'm gonna make Ashley wait there. We're gonna do some QTE boosting here. Oops, I ran into the wall. And now we're gonna fight the Armaduros. Owie. That's okay. We can burn the gold herb that we had earlier. Easily grab all of the drops in this room and have plenty of time to address these guys. Alright. Oh no, he didn't die. Oh. Well, that's okay. We had a spare flash grenade anyway, so. I suppose if that's the only thing that goes wrong in this run, I'll take it. So it does mean 1 fewer flash grenades, which means I have to do Novi's flash list. That's okay, though. I've had a lot of practice with them lately, and maybe they'll be good today. So moving on to the weapon exhibit here. I'm going to push these statues in place. Earlier in Waterhall, I did a little trick that I didn't talk about because it was a very, very action-packed segment, where I pointed my gun at Ashley when she was on a pressure plate. We're going to do that again here. Very useful. I'm also going to walk into the next room backwards. In consoles, you can shoot the lights from outside the room, but you cannot in VR because they do not spawn until you're actually in the room. There we go. All these blood stains, and I can't see how any of them died. Been playing too much Elden Ring. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the segment there. So coming up here, we have the corridor. Again, we're gonna make our way past all of the... Oopsie, I bumped the button. Hee. There we go. So those flash grenades ensure that we can get past these guys. It's much more important to use it on these guys in VR than it is to do the Novis in the next room. So, speaking of which, oh wait, we do have a spare flash. Yay. Cool. Alright, so we have our shotgun ammo here. And now Novis 2. There we go. That is no flash Novis on VR. Had to make a small adjustment in positioning, but otherwise, really good Novis. Coming up on the clock tower segment. Another bit to skip there. It's fun going back and forth. There's actually like skip tech in this game by knowing which cutscenes are coming up. because you have to hold the A button down to skip some, and you have to mash the A button to skip others, and you can't really do like one or the other. Go ahead and open this door here. Alright, so, clock tower. Not a lot to talk about here. Pretty easy puzzle to do in VR. Grab that. Didn't really need that, but I missed the ladder. We can do this last little plank on the move if we don't miss. Alright. So, the next two rooms, or I should say the exit of this room plus the entirety of the next room, is really fun and frantic to do quickly in VR. Especially since you can shoot guys while running past. Super fun. Oh, I missed one. Haha. Oh well. Alright, so rocket launcher here. We'll just patch myself up here real quick as well. Don't need those, don't need those. Next thing I need is going to be a flash grenade. Okay, cool. So rocket launcher, good to go. Aim, shoot, sniper rifle. Pretty much the same strat you would normally use here. Whoa, clever boy. Come on. Wow, he didn't want to shoot. There we go. Skip the money because we don't need it. We did miss out on some shotgun rounds, but that's okay. Don't really need them. So yep, got the QTEs turned off there. Here's my favorite line that Salazar says, "Die, you worm!" Oh, gimme. Picking stuff up off the ground can be a bit tricky to do in VR. Alright, so this is where we bid our good friend,
What are you selling? Is that
Mr.
old, stranger?
Semi-Automatic Rifle, adieu.
Thank you.
And while we're at it, we can sell these.
Thank you. What are you buying?
And as usual, we're going to buy a rocket launcher.
Stranger. Now,
And nothing else.
anytime.
But Ritz. But Ritz, you say. You forgot the striker. Why didn't you buy the striker? Don't you know how broken the striker is? Well, dear viewer, that is true. The striker is a very broken weapon. As a weapon, it's fairly mediocre, but the fact that you can do a glitch called the Dittman glitch to get a massive speed boost is the #1 coolest thing about running this game on every version of the game except VR, because that glitch is gone straight up out the window. Not possible. But hey, at least we get these cool you know, QTE boosts. That's kind of fun, right? Running backwards, getting a tiny boost out of it, and trying not to run into a wall to lose time. But yeah, I digress. Yeah, so because we don't have an animation to draw a weapon, we can't really break the game's frames or, you know, speed or... Ah, wow, he just went right for me there, didn't he? That's okay, I needed an excuse to open my inventory. Yeah, buddy. There you are. Gimme. Wow. Alright, cool. I mean, not cool, but you know. Barely didn't even make it out the door. Lost a little time that way. Oh, well. Getting hit was less than ideal there. But yeah, that's the Verdugo fight. Pretty much the same as you'd expect, except no Ditman and no QTE skips, but instead QTE boosts. So we do not have Ditman, which means any glitches ahead in the run that would normally require Ditman to activate are not possible. And that's where some of the really cool differences start to become apparent.
It seems that's
It's where certain old school glitches come back into play, and also some new ones that are exclusive to VR. So 4-2 is already going to demonstrate 2 cases where there's a big difference there. Apart from the general difference of using Ditman at all times to gain speed.
Got some rare.
So once
What
again,
are you buying?
we're going to buy our trusty rocket launcher.
Stranger. Now that's a weapon.
And then we're going to move on.
Anytime.
So normally, in this room, in a console run, you would use this rocket launcher to shoot the boulder on the other side of this mine and run right past it. And then you would use Ditman to skip the next boss fight. But there we said the D word again, and we can't do that. So instead, we're going to use an old school glitch that is most commonly used in GameCube versions of the game. To go out of bounds like this, and float out of bounds like so, and then come back inbounds and float back down. Alright. So that was the float glitch, the boulder skip. Grab that. We got our grenade, our rocket launcher. We're good. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and trigger the cutscene here. Get these guys over here. Throw the lever. Throw the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever! Pop over here and grab the other goodies. So, yeah, it is actually possible to skip these Gigantes. However, it requires using a power down glitch, also found by Hippo. A glitch where you interrupt the zip line by offering to power down, like pressing the side button on the the side of the temple of the Oculus to do. And that's risky for streaming, obviously, because it can interrupt your stream and whatnot. Dang it. No. I want you dead. Like, I need you dead. I cannot afford to have you alive. Novis 3, that was a little slow of a start. Once again, shotgun is king here. And it all takes advantage of the fact that Novis have basically 0 defense or take like bonus damage whenever they're flying. So as long as we can hit them while they are in the air, it takes either 1 to 2 handgun bullets or basically like 0, like 1 pellet from a shotgun to kill them. Get out of my way. Whoa, hello, big guy. Okay, that's cheating. He landed on the ground. Alright, so that's Novis 3. Overall, went pretty well. The Novis misbehaved a teensy bit, but they didn't hit me, and I didn't die, and yeah, so. No Ditman means we do this the intended strat. It might be possible to do this with Roomscale, but I haven't experimented with it to see if we can use Roomscale movement to skip that. But that's the end of 4-2. Chapter 4-3 is next. This is the mine level, home of the infamous Minecart and Minecart skip segment.
Welcome.
So at this point, we're going to go ahead and finish combining all of our combinables. And we're going to sell some things here.
You're selling. Is that all,
This
stranger?
should be the last time we have to sell anything
Thank you.
in the run.
What are you buying?
So now we're going to buy the rocket launcher one more time here.
Stranger. Now that's a weapon.
Don't think we have a good way to do that, so we'll do that. There we go. Perfect.
Come
While we're
back
at it, we're going to go
anytime.
ahead and make sure we're fully equipped with what we need. We need a flash, so we'll combine those. There we go. Pretty good. A little heavy on heals right now, but I've actually not been getting hit, which is surprising me. So, minecart time. How are we doing on flashes? 3 flashes. Good. So we use a flash there and get one back pretty much right away. And that's to ensure that we can quickly crank this open before any of them catch up. So this chapter has a fairly infamous glitch in it that was only discovered a few years ago, called the minecart skip. And the fastest version of that trick requires using Ditman, but there is a slower version of the trick that works on all versions of the game, including VR. So we're going to be doing that here. I am amazed that that ganado lady did not hit me. I guess it would be a ganada? I don't know. Yeah. So here is the minecart skip, and I'm going to be getting that set up here. I'm going to do it first, and then I will talk about it after. Nope. All right, so to try that again. It does take some getting used to, and it can be a bit difficult. One thing I ran into there with my new mic, and this is the first time I'm using this lapel mic, I've noticed there's a little bit of audio interference with my headset, so sometimes sound cuts out. Man, like clockwork, I always get it on the second try. Okay, so if you jump over the minecart at just the right piece of curvature on that track there, something about that movement transition finds a gap in the minecart and places Leon on the ground. We can go out of bounds. You can actually see like the whole path that the minecart takes and just how far it has to go. But this is actually the final spiral, and the exit of the stage is over here. We're going to cut through this wall right here and come inbounds right about there. There we go. And pretty much at this point, all we can do is run around in a big circle and wait until we get to the end. So this is a humongous opportunity to talk about donations, donation incentives, things like that. It's an unskippable cutscene there. Because it is shorter than the actual skip animation. But yeah, Leon, if you didn't know, he is a Jedi. You can, throw items wherever you want. You can juggle. He's a man of many talents. So in lieu of donations, I can talk about other things. For example, if you see my ammo is at 71 in reserve here, any weapon in RE4 VR that has a chambering mechanic to it, where you have to eject a shell or bullet casing and then chamber another round, to empty the weapon of its ammo. It's the only way you can do it in VR in RE4 as far as I know. And so if I chambered 1, it's up to 72. The next 5 is empty, and it's back at another 77 total, something like that. And that's the way you can actually buy ammo in the game. And that works for the shotgun, the riot gun, the bolt action rifle, and the mine thrower. So if you want to have a mine thrower New Game Plus run and do exclusively mine thrower darts, knock yourself out. That's the way to do it right there. Just buy and sell the gun over and over again, emptying its rounds each time. So that's chapter 4-3. And I suppose if that's the one thing that's like the big time loss of the run, I'm pretty darn happy with it. It's tricky to do, but still saves so much time to skip that minecart. So we're at the finale of chapter 4. It's time for us to settle the score with Salazar. So this segment, we want to go pretty quick here. We don't have access to Ditman, so it's even tighter on the timing. Oh dear, I don't believe I actually got my ammo back. I don't want to die. Yeah, jerks. Alright, so pretty much the timing is entirely messed up now. Alright, well that was absolutely terrible. But it's over. Mostly. Alright, so we will forget that that ever happened. But anyway, that's not exactly how it's supposed to go. That's what I get for demonstrating how to empty all the rounds out of a shotgun. So as long as I do the chicken flap here, we automatically succeed. Anyway, so moving on. To Donkey Kong. So this segment, we don't have Ditman, so we have to take the intended route up, which is across the scaffold here. But we can still save a little time with some no merchant strats by shooting those cultists and forcing them to jump down, like that. We're gonna reload. Come on, throw it. Ah! Wait, oh, I didn't hit the button. Rats. Okay. Well, hey, we got another shot at that, I guess. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. The guy down below just nuking me there. Anyway. So, yeah. Always fun to figure out where they're dropping next. Alright, not a terrible elevator. Getting hit was very unexpected, but otherwise not bad. So one thing, and we need that since our heals are a little low. One thing that happens here that I have to make absolutely certain. In consoles, if you walk into this fight and you forget the rocket launcher, you can turn around and you can leave. You cannot do that in VR, so I must check. Do I have the rocket launcher? The answer is yes. So we are good there. We don't need to purchase anything here. But we will grab that stuff. And now for this fight here. So dodge that. There we go. So, not the fastest I could have exposed Salazar, but not getting hit. Good fight. Good night. Bye-bye. All right, so this is the point in the run at which we pretty much say goodbye to the usefulness of the handgun. It is about to get sunset. It still has a little bit of use left. We're still going to use it in the early parts of Chapter 5. But this is pretty much the part of the run where I do this. And get rid of my chair entirely. Make sure it's out of the play field, which it was not, and now it is. So it's time for room scale glitches, and a great opportunity to stretch it out here. So grab the useful things like a flash grenade, some shotgun ammo. Oh, my back. Feels better to stretch it out. And move on. So, Chapter 5. Start of the island here has pretty much the same exact glitch that you would do in console here called Island Skip. We're going to drop off this ledge and go out of bounds first. But we're doing it in third-person transitions here, and it's just because if you do first-person, the second half of the glitch, where we go back inbounds up ahead here, does not work. So we have to do it in third person, which is why we keep it that way after doing Minecart skip. But now we can switch back to our first person mode there. Just make sure we have everything equipped that we want. We want a shotgun here. Next thing we need is probably going to be a flash grenade. And no other herbs. Okay, cool. So, got our shotgun. We're going to get rid of this handgun very soon in favor of a new weapon. Alright, so Time for our upgrade. And of course, we need to pick up another
Got
rocket
some
launcher.
rare things on what are you selling?
First things first, we say
Is
goodbye
that
to
all,
that.
stranger?
And all of its reserve ammo.
Thank you.
Then we're gonna
What are
buy
you buying?
the Killer 7,
Is that all, stranger?
which we need to put right there. And of course,
Thank you.
it wouldn't be a trip to the merchant
Stranger.
if we didn't buy one of these.
Stranger. Come back any time.
So, that being said, here we are. We have our new toy. And right off the bat, we get to use it if I don't miss. Wow, he's like really far to the side there. I shouldn't have even bothered. Normally that guy is like way off to the left and ready to snipe you, but for whatever reason he wasn't there today. That's fine. So we're going to pretty much stick with these two weapons for most of the rest of the run, only occasionally switching... Oh god. Switching to the rocket launcher whenever we have a few specific boss fights left. But any other type of ammo and inventory and money and things we don't really need. I'll grab money out of reflex or to get it out of my way so that it doesn't get in the way when I try and grab weapons. But here's our first room scale glitch that we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and get in position here. Step back a little bit more, load up that, and we're going to transition through this door here. Take a few steps, unpause. And now we're on the other side of the garage door. Yay! Unfortunately, I'm out of the camera now, but you know, it is what it is. So we turn around because I had to turn around. And so I'll be out of the camera for a little bit. Don't worry, I'll be back. So that's the first of a handful of segments where walking in real life can take advantage of things that you can't normally do in this version of the game. I suppose you could technically do kind of a real-life Ditman by running constantly throughout the entire game, but my goodness, what a marathon of a run that would be. I don't have a gymnasium to run around in, so I can't do that. I will periodically look down just so you can see the room scale boundaries again. So, but we want to juke these regenerators here. Unfortunately, the regenerator that's in this hallway up ahead here, I can't juke him because Leon is thick. He is THICC thick. And actually there's like a couple of spots in the game where his body frame being that wide is actually kind of a problem when trying to run through areas. So, and we don't have any means to kill this regenerator, so instead we're going to do this. And hope he doesn't catch me, which he did not. Now I feel like I'm caught on something here. Oh, it's just distance there. It's fine. Okay, so moving right along. I do have to be careful and manage my cables while I'm doing this. I have fairly good sized cables for this. It's just, you know, there's always the chance of stepping on them or accidentally ripping things off the side of my head. Again, for safety, I grab all the yellow herbs that are conveniently within my path, and that's just to make sure that when I fight Krauser, if anything goes wrong with that fight, and if I lose control of him, he doesn't just murder me with his horizontal slash. So, we bypass Ashley here. Flash grenade, that's good. And pretty much just shotgun our way through here. You don't actually have to shoot any of these guys, but again, I like to do it because I have plenty of ammo, and because it guarantees that they don't hit you if you shoot them. Alright, so here we say hello and then very quickly say goodbye to our good friend Mr. Regenerator. Hello, goodbye. Oh god, no, ew. Gross. Alright, well, I don't think that's going to wash out. We're going to have to burn this outfit when we're done. So we collect those goodies, switch back to our trusty shotgun again. Make sure we have a flash grenade. Pray to the gods that it actually works this time. For the love of God, actually work! Thank you. Of course, it still didn't work. Anyway. That is a really hard grenade to throw, and the reason is that those stairs don't have collision, and so that grenade will go right through them if you throw them on the stairs. So you have to throw it above the stairs, which doesn't always work. Anyway, these gentlemen are going to go off to the infirmary while I have a little chat with Ashley. Alright, so this is our last full chapter with Ashley. And we are gonna have some fun here. Cool. Good fight. Oh, wrong grenade. Whoops. Forgot I swapped them. There we go. Go. Oh, Ashley. Ashley. Well, there's 2 heals gone. So you cannot let Ashley get picked up here for 2 reasons. 1, they move a lot faster with her, and they'll get her out of the room long before I get to the door. And 2, even if I were to get to the transition, the game, whatever reason, they programmed it and fixed that particular bug. So yeah, I can't just leave Ashley behind and have her teleport to me. Another issue that's coming up here, we've got these Iron Maidens in here, and Leon and Ashley are both super thick, so we can't just run past this guy when we flash him, and we can't push him out of the way either, so we have to lure him all the way over here. But thankfully, we can do that. Call Ashley back. Push on that. Oh Lord, he coming. Okay. So moving on to the incinerator. This room is interesting. I always want to eliminate these guys, pretty much no matter what. That heal with that. So we're going to point our shotgun at Ashley now, drop down, run across. As long as we keep our gun trained on Ashley this whole time, she will stay up there and we will be able to keep these guys under control as long as I don't move from this spot. So. Now this last one, we actually do want Ashley to jump down. Keep our gun trained on her for a second here. That should be good enough. And now, just go through the door here. Easy peasy. You shoot to trigger this guy because the wait follow command is actually slower than making noise through some other means. Ashley followed us, that's good. Okay. I do want her to hold the door for me. We have a button that has a cutscene we can skip, but it doesn't skip, I guess.
Follow me.
Follow. And once again, we're going to drop ourselves a regenerator and run along and get Ashley on the door here. Send Ashley. She'll go under and take her sweet time. Leave it to me, Leon. For some reason, I guess the devs thought that Ashley was hard to understand or something, and so she gets her own subtitles. Go, Ashley. There we go. Mash through that door. I love that sound. Alright, I didn't mean to grab the rifle ammo, but it's okay. We're getting to a point where we're going to start shredding our inventory over the next few stages. So we've got a bunch of flash grenades. That's all well and dandy. We're going to use our fire grenades at this segment. And pretty much this whole segment is just an auto-scroller. So a great opportunity, again, to talk about donations, donation incentives, or just shoot the breeze in general. For the most part, I'm going to be trying to keep them off the back of the truck. I can talk about some of the differences, though. One example, if I get too close to the back of this truck, I will actually fall off of it. Now, that sounds cool in theory, because if you could get around the truck, you could potentially run faster than the truck. But unfortunately, the big truck that chases us will wind up killing me if it catches me. Anyway. Another difference. All those enemies I killed, all their ammo will automatically drop to the ground. It does not stay on the surface of here. And that's true for both this segment as well as the minecarts. So that's yet another reason that we skip the minecarts in VR, and it's like super duper important that we do so. I'm using Magnum rounds here just to absolutely guarantee that I get enough damage to destroy that truck. So, fun fact about shotguns, their accuracy is tighter, like the pellet spread is smaller if you use them with two hands as compared to using them with just one hand. So, depending on what you prefer, if you need a more focused spread or if you need a more wide spread, you can switch between those two options. So it looks like we left those other soldiers behind, which is good. And we're still doing real good on ammo. I have done this segment. Oh, hello. I'm sure he'll be around soon enough. Anyway, I have done this segment with very little ammo before, and it is nerve-wracking. Excuse me. Huh? Oh well. You would. You would. Excuse me. Just go ahead and torch this last guy. Alright. So, there we go. All done. Don't even look at the cool explosions. Alright, this would be the point of the run in which I would cut off incentives for the Krauser knife cutscene.
Welcome.
We're going to go ahead and
Got a selection of
purchase yet another rocket launcher here.
Stranger.
And say goodbye to Ashley again. So I cut off the knife cutscene here because it's coming up in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that. Shotgun ammo is pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and skip the shotgun ammo up ahead here. Okay. We do want the heal though. So, this is the machine room, aka the krauser fight, or cutscene. Fun fact, this elevator is skippable. The others are not. So there we go, we skipped the krauser cutscene. A touching reunion. And we move on to our next segment of the run, which is the laser segment, and then U3. So the laser segment has, in my opinion, some of the worst QTEs in the game. Specifically, it makes use of the double down QTE, which is the hardest one, in my opinion, to execute correctly. Normally you can trigger this final cutscene by hitting this button twice, but it does not work in VR, so instead we run forward to trigger it sooner. There's that double down. At least it worked. Alright. Leon is dummy thick, so he can't fit through that gap, so we have to go around and hit this button like American Ninja Warrior. Although you don't see the Ninja Warriors getting cut in half by lasers now, do ya? Alright, so this is the U3 fight. In this one, there is some room scale strategies to it, but it is a little tricky to do. I'm going to try my best. I really am. I'm going to not crash into my desk or run into the wall. But essentially, if I do this right, I can save a few seconds. And if I do this wrong, I'll die and waste about half a minute each time. So that's the risk-reward over-under on this. I think it's worth it, though, because it's kind of fun to do. Okay, so we're going to walk through this wall here. Nope. We'll try that again. Walk through this wall here. Nope, still no good. There we go. Maybe? Oh, I'm like way out of bounds now. Come on, game. Uh-oh. There we go. Hey, we got it. Now we just have to not die. Well, that saved no time, but I didn't die, so I call it a win-win. I call this an absolute win. Come on. VR, lever, please. Thank you. I hate these levers. They're the worst ones in the game. Come on, aim. There we go. The second button skip here is a lot easier to execute. A whole lot easier. You pretty much just reach out and hit it. Flip the lever. Wrong grenade. Switch grenades. Pull the pin. Hit the button. Again, we're going to take advantage of our ability to run and gun here. And stun U3 while we run inside so that he doesn't bite me in half whenever I try that. If you try and cut that corner in VR, he'll cut you right in half. Moving on. Grab some goodies here. Rocket launcher time. Say goodbye to our friend. Couple of knife slices and we are done. Turn around here. Grab that red herb. And say farewell to U3. Little Ditman speed going on here. So we're going to get in position for the krauser fight, which is the next segment. We don't need any grenades for that. I'm just going to jump down here and run on inside here. This is our last merchant for a while, but thankfully I don't need a rocket launcher until a bit later on in the run. This would be normally where you would pick up the Killer 7 in a console speedrun or Steam speedrun, but it's incredibly useful for being a one-handed weapon in this run, so I pick it up real early. We will take our shotgun though, just in case. So, in this house, we respect the TMP. And that's just because the speed at which you move in this game pretty much forces you to hold still, otherwise risk getting shot there. Oh, grenades? Man, this is free. Bye. Okay. Reload our magnum here. Come here. Hold to skip. Normally the pixel perfect trick here would be something that I would practice to learn, but unfortunately, because these little bricks stick out the side of it, it's no longer a pixel perfect trick. It simply just does not work. So we cannot pixel perfect our way with that statue. Alright. Now hopefully we can get through here without getting grabbed by krauser. Cool. Come through here. All right. Cool. Cool. I like your style. I like the cut of your jib. Not really. I actually really hate that little detail. That's why. Because these stupid bombs will always hit you. There we go. Get past this one. Turning off QTEs, we have a penalty here for that because it automatically completes his QTE, which is slower than ignoring it. Grab our last safety yellow herb here and burn it immediately to cap off our health. And this will help ensure that most of krauser's moves cannot instantly kill us. So here we go. He was hoping for a good krauser fight. That move right there will kill you if you do not collect enough healing on the way. Did it again, you jerk. So, needless to say, it is extremely difficult to do this fight without dying. Man, rough stuff. Man. Last chance here. And we're dead again. Really? He didn't do any damage there. I'm amazed. Now we're dead. Alright. So, yeah. That's krauser. And sometimes krauser just gonna krauser in this fight. It's really difficult for the knife to hit exactly the right spot on this fight.
Your death, Leon.
So we have to be very cautious about that. Ah, was not expecting that to be the move he used. So do a little repositioning here to ensure that we're hitting the right spot and not his arm. So tie myself up here. Good fight. Looks terrible. Much better than the first one. My goodness. But yeah, at least you can adjust your position while knifing there, even if you can't stun lock him. Whew, what a fight, man. Moving right along. All right, so 5-4. So chapter 5-4 is the big military fight here, where we fight Sadler's army. There is a glitch in VR that is amazing and super, super, super cool if I can pull it off, but I only get one chance to do it. And then I'm pretty much locked into the chapter from here on. Okay. And I knew that was going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and grab this green herb since we got hit. Okay. So up ahead here, we're going to jump off the platform after we throw the lever. And if we do it right, then we're going to get a really awesome skip. I might have got it. I think I got it. And nope, don't got it. It's because I got hit. So, allow me to explain what would have happened if I were a little bit faster on the jump down there. It's a kind of tight window, but if you jump at exactly the right time after throwing the lever, you get a float glitch upon reloading checkpoint, which allows you to pretty much finish up this segment out of bounds, which is super, super cool. Love to show it off at a marathon. Oh yeah, we only got 6 rounds left, so I can't reload. That's okay, Shielder will be back in my way here in a second anyway. So we pretty much do this as normal if we miss the opportunity there. We do get access to a free heal here, which we won't need. So, coming up here on the end of the Mike segment, rest in peace, Mike. Sippy. Sounds like he says sippy cup if you don't cut him off there. No useful ammo there. So, we have an okay amount of magnum rounds and an okay amount of shotgun rounds. If I need additional ammo, I can grab both of the ammo types that I need in the room after this one. So here we run right past and skip the part where we show Ada that we've learned how to do Sharingan. I will grab this flash grenade because it is incredibly useful, and I'm going to take the safe route here and grab the extra ammo. Only costs us a couple seconds to do so, but it ensures we have plenty of ammo for the final war room as well as the Sadler fight. So, at this point now, we're going to make sure we have flashes equipped, which we do. Also going to put, whoops, well, not going to put that there. That's okay. All right. So we have 3 flashes left for this room, which is a ton. As long as that shielder doesn't hit me, we got a decent chance of getting through here, okay? Wow, 3 guys up here. Holy smokes. That never happens. I've never seen that happen. Anyway. So we put the key in, we hit our button. Some, like, really good reload action there on the shotgun. What? Anyway. Ah, that's not dropping down. What are you doing, Leon? That's also not dropping down. There we go. That's dropping down. Alright, moving right along. Oops, got stuck on the door there. And we say goodbye to most combat in the game. We get Ashley back. At this point, if we have any ammo issues, there's still a backup. We can always buy an ammo upgrade at this point here. But the one thing we always buy when we say hello to the merchant is, that's right, a rocket launcher.
Come back anytime.
Which we can equip soon, but we're not going to do it quite yet. And we get one more heal, for good measure. So our final flash grenade we can use right here. And basically go right through the door here. And finish up the chapter. So chapter 5-5 is the Sadler fight, in which we want to have grenades, a rocket launcher, and our Killer 7 equipped. And, you know, a healer too. Doesn't hurt. So, the nice thing is we shouldn't have to change equipment for pretty much the entire rest of the run. Double check, we got a rocket launcher, we're good to go. If I go into this cutscene and I don't have a rocket launcher, I am dead, 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 dead. And the run is over. So, shoot that eyeball, we shoot that eyeball. And we shoot that eyeball. We gotta use this just in time for these to pop back up. Bang. Bye-bye. And that's pretty much the run, other than escaping through the jet ski. Yeah, like a ton of magnum rounds left. What a good ammo situation we had in this run. So, yeah, I mean, this would be the part of a marathon run where I would start talking about shout-outs, thanks to the community for their support, especially people like Hippo for finding some really cool glitches and skips specific to VR. Also to Joko for being a cool mod and also being one of the mods that runs the game as well. Oh no, did you really do that, Ritz? Wow, okay, yep, I'm gonna hug that, Alright, so we've learned our lesson there. That we absolutely positively need to be like pressed up against that jet ski and absolutely do not reset checkpoint until we are right there. Whoops. Anyway, that's never happened before. But yeah, shoutouts. Thanks again to Hippo and Joko and the rest of the RE4 community. So the last little nuance here, we do reset checkpoint here. No, we don't want comfort. We want to load. There we go. Load last checkpoint. We reset comfort there. We want to keep the comfort setting on actually comfort, not limited or immersive. And that is because the controls for this jet ski on like the VR motion controls are atrocious. And I mean, they're fun to try. Like it kind of almost feels like piloting a jet ski, almost. It's just not good though. Like it's super inconsistent, and I've died way too many times trying to use the jet ski VR controls. And thankfully, comfort lets you do it the old school way. Just no Ditman, no jet ski glitch, no somersaults, you know. No fun allowed, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that was overall a pretty good run. That's time. So our final time, 1:57:13. That is a personal best for me, which would also make that a world record. If I hadn't have botched that opening, it probably would have been closer to 1:56 at the ending there. Big time loss, but anyway. Yeah, so this is RE4 VR New Game Pro. Sometimes the game will bug out on this screen if I sit too long. It's happened once before, and it's like not able to save this file, so I'm going to go ahead and save that now. So we get a new personal best. So we will overwrite that, and just do that. 1:57:51. The actual timer continues to run between the results screen and the gold typewriter, but we go off of the results screen for the final time. So yeah, that's RE4 New Game Pro Roomscale. Hopefully you enjoyed the run. I know I've gotten to enjoy this run more and more as I do it. It keeps getting better each time. I continue to grind down that time to faster and faster times, and I'm just absolutely loving it. So hopefully I'll see you guys at whatever marathon or event that you would have this at. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.